Out there, slow hands went under the dirt fast. Frontier rewarded nerve, speed, and firepower. These 10-6 shooters gave men leverage when talk failed. They backed every threat with metal, and anyone who ignored their bite paid the price in seconds. We begin at number 10, a revolver that looked advanced on paper but hit the frontier with mixed results. It still earned a place because dangerous men carried it, trusted it, and pushed it past its limits. Number 10, Colt 1877 Double Action. Colt stepped into new ground with the 1877, a revolver that fired with one long pull instead of cocking the hammer for every round. It was compact, fast to bring up, and fast to empty. That alone made it valuable when a fight broke open at close range. Came in two calibers, Lightning in 38, Thunderer in 41. Both shared the same frame. Both shared the same intention, quicker shots in tight quarters. Men who carried these weren't looking for smooth operation. They wanted a gun that reacted the instant they decided someone needed to go down. This revolver gained attention because known killers had it on them. Billy the Kid ran with a Lightning at times. Doc Holliday carried a Thunderer in his coat. Picked it for the same reason gamblers pick cards that slid easy. Speed. Nothing else in Colt's lineup fired this fast in one motion. But the 1877 demanded maintenance. Its internal parts were thin, complicated, and prone to wearing out. Frontier was rough on equipment. Dust, heat, cold, and constant tension could break the mechanism. Gunsmiths cursed it. Owners kept them going out of need, not comfort. Even with flaws, this revolver made an impact because a double-action trigger changed how fights unfolded. A man with an 1877 can empty 6 shots without shifting his grip. In a cramped saloon, inside a wagon, or across a small alley, that was decisive fire. The 1877 didn't chase beauty, it chased speed. Owners accepted the risk because the alternative was slower fire, and slow fire meant a body on the ground. Number 9, Smith & Wesson No. 2 Army. Before the West filled with big-bore cartridge guns, this smaller revolver changed the rules. The Smith & Wesson No. 2 Army chambered .32 rimfire, modest in size but years ahead in loading speed. 6 metallic rounds ready to go. No loose powder, cushion caps, no fiddling under stress. That alone made it valuable during the early cartridge boom. Officers in the Civil War bought them privately. After the war, the same men rode west and kept these on their belts. Trusted a gun that fired without fuss and reloaded without ceremony. In towns with growing tension, a simple revolver that always fired was better than a powerful one that failed when dust or moisture ruined the caps. The number 2 was slim, easy to conceal, and fast to access. A man didn't need a heavy holster to carry it, fit under coats, inside vests, and in saddlebags without dragging weight around. Its power was limited, but inside 20 paces, it punched clean holes. Accuracy was steady, recoil was manageable, and the frame stayed tight with heavy use. Settlers, miners, store owners, and traveling officers relied on it because reliability mattered more than brute energy. Number 8, Remington Model 1875. Colt dominated the frontier, but Remington refused to roll over. Their answer was the Model 1875, full-size single-action revolver chambered in .44-40, same round as the famous Winchester rifles. That cartridge pairing alone made this revolver a threat to Colt's grip on the West. A man with a Winchester and a Remington 1875 carried one type of ammunition: simple, efficient, practical. No sorting in the dark. No wrong rounds shoved into a cylinder during a fight. The 1875 had a solid frame thicker than Colt's. Shooters noticed it stayed tight after heavy use. The recoil impulse hit straight back, not sideways. It balanced well, pointed quick, and held up through cold, heat, and constant movement. People trusted it because it kept its structural strength longer than many Colt copies sold in the same era. Outlaws appreciated durability. Frank James carried a Remington 1875 and kept using it even as newer guns showed up. He wasn't a man who changed equipment for trend or style. He carried what worked. That alone says enough. The government tested the 1875 and even bought some. Colt hadn't already locked military surplus chains. The West might have seen far more Remingtons issued in uniform. That missed contract didn't change its reputation. Civilians adopted it as a workhorse revolver that hit hard and took punishment. Number 7, Smith & Wesson Model 3 Schofield. Speed kills. The Schofield proved it. Smith & Wesson delivered a top-break design that reloaded faster than anything Colt produced at the time. Flip the latch, tilt the barrel, and all 6 empty cases popped out instantly. Drop in 6 fresh rounds, shut the gun, back in the fight. Schofield did this in seconds. Cavalry units valued reload speed more than anything. When shooting from horseback, fumbling with cartridges was a death sentence. Schofield solved that problem with straightforward mechanics. Its .45 Schofield cartridge produced less recoil than the .45 Colt. It shot clean and accurate, gave mounted troops a smoother second shot and faster target recovery. Men understood that trade-off and accepted it. Problem came from ammo logistics. The shorter .45 Schofield round fit Colt cylinders, but the longer Colt round didn't fit Schofield chambers. The Army struggled to manage two kinds of ammunition, and Colt won that fight through simplicity, not performance. Even so, Schofield didn't fade away. Lawmen who needed speed held on to it. Civilian shooters liked its handling and clean break. Outlaws enjoyed the rapid reload advantage when running between train cars or moving through the tight alleys. Jesse James used Schofield's. He didn't pick slow weapons. That alone puts weight behind the design. Number 6, Merwin and Hulbert. Few revolvers matched the engineering of a Merwin and Hulbert. The company made fewer guns, but each one came out with tight tolerances and unusual mechanics that set them apart. Instead of a loading gate or top brake design, these revolvers used a twist and pull system. The barrel rotate, slide forward, and only the fired cases dropped free. Live rounds stayed put and ready. No wasted ammunition, no full dumps, no unnecessary reload cycles. This system required precise machining. The action fit together like parts of a clock. Weapons this tight were rare in the West because mass production didn't allow such careful shaping. Merwin and Hulbert made it happen. Shooters who carried these revolvers didn't worry about sloppy cylinder play. They enjoyed smooth rotation, firm lockup, and accurate fire. Balance felt natural in one hand. Drawn, the muzzle stayed level without effort. These guns didn't fight the shooter. They were expensive, which limited distribution. Colt and Remington flooded the market. Merwin and Hulbert never reached those numbers, but the people who bought them, some lawmen, some outlaws, carried them for years because these guns outperformed cheaper models. Before we move to the final 5 revolvers that crushed doubt and settled fights fast, know this: they hit harder than anything you've seen so far. Hit like and subscribe to hold on to these shooters. Number 5, Colt Model 1892 Army and Navy. By the time this revolver arrived, the West was changing fast. Trains cut through long distances, towns grew, and lawmen wanted something that loaded quicker and handled smoother than the classic single-action platforms. Colt answered with the Model 1892. This 6-shooter swung its cylinder out to the side with one clean motion. Ejector rod punched all 6 empty cases out at once. Fresh rounds dropped in fast. Close the cylinder, fire again. This design ripped past old loading gates and broke from the slow round-by-round process every earlier gun required. Chambered 38 long Colt, a round that military adopted for its manageable recoil and steady accuracy. Performed well on target ranges and proved easier for officers to control under pressure. Some critics noted that it lacked the heavy impact of .45 Colt, but the Model 1892 was not made to knock down cattle, built to deliver clean hits and controlled engagements. Officers carried it into the Spanish conflict and then into the Philippines. The revolver functioned clean in tropical heat, coastal humidity, and thick jungle air. The firing cycle stayed smooth, and the cylinder lockup held strong after constant use. On the frontier, civilians who wanted the newest design picked this revolver over older single-action systems. It felt modern, pointed fast, and reloaded in a fraction of the time. Gunsmiths appreciated the machining. Soldiers liked the consistency. Officers welcomed a revolver that didn't belong to a past era. Number 4, Colt Frontier 6-shooter. A cowboy could carry whatever he wanted. Most traveled light. Every ounce counted. This is why the Colt Frontier 6-shooter earned loyalty across open ranges and cattle trails. Fired .44-40, the same round used in the Winchester 1873 rifle. One belt, one cartridge. Rifle and revolver both handled the same ammunition. No sorting under stress, no mix-ups in the dark, no wasted space. That advantage alone turned this revolver into a working man's weapon. The Frontier 6-shooter kept the frame and draw feel of the single-action Army, pointed quick, delivered strong impact, and stayed reliable across long miles. Cartridge brought enough force for predators, raiders, and close threats in tight quarters. Man didn't need to wonder if his sidearm lacked punch. Winchester promoted the pairing with pride, but marketing was not what persuaded cowboys. Real use did. Riders who pushed cattle across hundreds of miles chose this setup again and again because it made their loadout simple. In mining towns, this revolver showed up in heavy numbers. In ranch houses, it sat within reach. Sheriffs kept them on their belts because ammo was easy to find from any store that sold rifle rounds. Number 3, Colt Bisley model. The Colt Bisley looked different, aimed different, and performed different. Built with the firing line in mind, not cattle drives. Yet the West adopted it quickly because men realized accuracy was a weapon of its own. The grip angled your wrist downward. That odd shape locked your hand in a firm position and placed the barrel straight in line with your arm. Shooters could hold targets longer, cover faster after the first shot, and hit with sharp consistency. A lowered hammer spur let the thumb reach it easily without shifting grip. Wider trigger helped keep the gun steady as the shot broke. The changes were not small tweaks. They were serious overhaul of the standard single-action formula. Some men bought Bisleys for competition. Others bought them because they wanted every advantage in close fights. El Paso's John Wesley Hardin carried one when he was killed. He chose the Bisley because it pointed fast and shot straight, not a man who wasted effort. The revolver came in strong calibers like .45 Colt and .44-40, so accuracy paired with force. That combination gave users the edge when a dispute flared inside a saloon or when riders pushed into hostile ground. Precise revolver with real power is not something an opponent can shrug off. Over 40,000 Bisleys were made. It's not a small number. The West embraced it because accuracy wins fights. A man who could hit clean without wasting rounds held control over the situation. Number 2, Colt 1873 Single Action Army. This revolver set the standard. Colt's 1873 Single Action Army military variant became the sidearm the U.S. Army relied on when pushing west. 6 rounds of .45 Colt, strong frame, clean loading gate, no nonsense. It didn't try to reinvent anything. It delivered power, reliability, and repeatable performance. That's why the Army adopted it without hesitation. Soldiers wanted a sidearm that stayed functional in sand, rain, snow, and dust, and this revolver answered that demand. .45 Colt round hit hard. Close range, it stopped threats with brutal force. Medium range, it still punched through thick coats and heavy clothing. Scouts carried it, officers carried it, cavalry troopers strapped it to their hips before riding into rough country. This revolver kept order in towns where trouble built fast. Backed commands with force, gave soldiers the confidence to push into ground where ambushes were common. After service members left the Army, many kept their revolvers and brought them into civilian life. The transition was seamless because the weapon was straightforward and strong. Number 1, Colt 1873 Single Action Army. No revolver carried more weight in the West than this one. The civilian Colt Single Action Army controlled saloons, cattle towns, rail hubs, and mining camps. Sat on the hips of riders, killers, lawmen, drifters, and travelers who understood one rule: carry a weapon that ends trouble fast. This model balanced weight perfectly, around 2.5 pounds. Enough mass to control recoil, light enough to carry dawn to dusk without dragging your belt down. Grip filled the hand clean, pointed naturally, and made fast shots steady. .45 Colt version delivered heavy force. 4440 version paired with Winchester rifles. Both calibers hit with authority inside real fighting distances. A man with this revolver stepped into any confrontation with confidence because the gun reacted instantly and hit with final intent. Legends carried them because they worked under stress. Wyatt Earp kept one during the OK Corral fight. Pat Garrett used one when he tracked Billy the Kid. Outlaws strapped him on because running from lawmen required equipment that didn't quit halfway. This revolver became an icon for one reason: results. It ended disputes, reinforced commands, and pushed back threats. The West didn't admire it for its looks. It admired it because it never failed when the grip tightened. Hollywood later attached its own shine, but the truth was already set. Frontier, the 6-shooter, held authority over life and death. You just saw the 10 6-shooters that ruled the West by force, not talk. Each one earned its place through impact, speed, or raw strength. Now tell me this: which one would you carry when everything's on the line? Drop it in the comments. Hit like if this breakdown hit hard. Subscribe for more videos on classic revolvers.